Hello, good morning, and welcome to your most trusted YouTube channel, El Acheku, the writer. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this particular video. Today is a simple thing. It's a match day in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers for the Black Stars of Ghana. And as you can see, I'm proudly wearing my Adidas Black Stars. I think this jerseys from the 90s. It's very colorful. It is very colorful, and I'm sure you want to grab a replica for yourself somewhere along the line as the Black Stars near a ticket for a qualification to the 2022 FIFA World Cup. So today is a simple thing. The Black Stars have traveled to South Africa. They arrived yesterday. They're already at the Orlando Stadium. They held a training session under coach Milovan Rijvac. And at 1 p.m. today, they will take on the Warrior Ibex of Ethiopia, who are in Group G with the Black Stars together with Zimbabwe and South Africa. As the group stand go into the match day 5 of the qualifier, the Black Stars sit in second place with 9 points from 4 games, and they must win. The Black Stars must get positive results against the Ethiopians on South African soil. Against all odds, they have to grant the results, as South Africa are currently leading the table, the Group G table, with 10 points from 4 games. Remember, this is match day 5 in the qualifiers. So let's dip a little bit deep into the squad, the men that Milovan Rijvac has assembled for this particular all-important game. And if you're looking at some of the notable absentees from the team, and in fact, the squad that was announced by the Black Stars head coach who made the trip to South Africa, this was confirmed and announced on the website of the Ghana Football Association. So there are some notable absentees that at 1 p.m. today, when the team gets onto the field to play, you will not see them in action. And the key among them is Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey, who is unavailable for this game. Don't forget, the last game that Arsenal played in the Premier League before this international break, Thomas Partey was not in action, and later on Arsenal announced that the player has suffered a tight groin, so he couldn't make the trip with the rest of the Black Stars squad to South Africa. But we understand from the communications head of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Henry Asante, that the Arsenal star has traveled to Ghana and is likely to watch the game from here. Maybe if he's able to recover in time, he might play in the all-important game against South Africa in Cape Coast. That's the final group game. Also, players who did not make the trip is Turkey-based forward Benjamin Tete, who has been in some decent form for his club, Yeni Malatyaspor, in the Turkish Super League. He also did not make the trip per the details shared by the Ghana Football Association. Another key absentee is the left-back, Gideon Mensah, who plays his football for Bordeaux in the French Ligue 1. He was in action just the weekend before the international break for Bordeaux against Paris Saint-Germain. He came on the bench to play 45 minutes, but unfortunately, he suffered an injury and he couldn't make the trip to Accra to join his teammate to fly to South Africa for the game. So he's also unavailable for the game. And the new boy everybody was looking up to see in the Black Stars, Felix Afenajan, who has broken into the AS Roma first team squad from the Primavera. In fact, he has gate crashed the squad under Jose Mourinho. Coach Milovan Rijvac handed him a call-up, and we understand that AS Roma has formally written to the Ghana Football Association to ask them that the Football Association should excuse Felix Afenajan from this particular all-important national assignment. So he has also not made a trip for this particular game. So Jonathan Mensah has been one of the most consistent players. If you remember Jonathan Mensah very well, he did very well for the Ghana under-20 team in the 2009 FIFA World Cup, when Ghana won the ultimate to become the only African country in history to have won the under-20 World Cup. Jonathan Mensah since then has been a very integral member of the Black Stars squad, and most Ghanaians, I'm sure, were hoping to see him in action, but unfortunately he suffered an injury and has not also been able to travel with the squad. The only last-minute call-up, the invitation that has come in, is Muntari Kamahine, which I will share his details later. He used to play for Dreams FC in the Ghana Premier League, and in fact in 2018 And in the league that was truncated, he was in action for Dreams FC in the domestic league. He played some couple of matches. Move on to Ashdod in the Israeli Premier League. Don't forget that Ashdod is a former club for House of Folk legend, Ghana legend Samir J in Israel. And this season he's had some fantastic numbers. So just as you are talking about players who are not going to be available for the game, let us look at the 24 players that flew to South Africa in Orlando. Let's take a look as published on the website of the Ghana Football Association. So the list includes Jojo Wolacott, who plays for Swindon in the English League 2. The goalkeeper, he was in action for the Black Stars the last time out when we played against Zimbabwe in Accra and also in Harare. He was in action. There's Abdul Manaf Nuruddin, former under 20 goalkeeper, plays his football in Cassiopen. He was injured the last time out, but Milovan has given him a call-up, so he's back into the team. House of Folks Richard Atta is also in the squad. He made the trip to South Africa. And then there's Lawrence Atizigi, the goalkeeper, who also made the squad. There's the famous or the infamous, I don't know which proper word to actually use to describe him. Flemon Bafo of Dreams FC, there's Joseph Edu of Celta Vigo, Abdul Ismail Ganiu of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, there's Mubarak Wakaso of Shenzhen in the Chinese league, there's Edmond Ado. He's the only debutant, the player to receive a call-up for the first time into the Black Stars is Edmond Ado of Charity Raspor in Moldova. There's Andrea Yu, who has been in some fine form for Assad in the Qatari Star League. Then there's his brother Jordan Ayu, who also made the squad. Then the Golden Boy, this is a player that I've chosen to refer to him as the Golden Boy of Ghanaian football, Abdul Fattah Isiaku. Fantastic player by all standards. He scored an amazing goal for the Black Stars when they beat Golden Kicks by 5-1 in the preparatory match that the team played on Monday at Accra Sports Stadium. Fantastic chap. He's also in the squad, currently on a short loan at Dreams FC in the Ghana Premier League. Then there's Samuel Owusu, who plays for Al Fayha in Saudi Arabia. Richmond Boachiwi plays for Beta Jerusalem. He's been back into the Black Stars squad. He scored a brace on during the friendly game that they played on a day. Then there's Benjamin Tete, Yeni Malatias for and then Caleb Akuban. These are the names of the players who have made the trip to South Africa. I think that Benjamin did not travel with the team because his name was not included. These were the initial 24-man squad that were available. So now that we've looked at that, the players available for the game, let us look at Ghana's probable lineup. Who are the players likely to start for Ghana? Remember, we are doing a preview. This is El Achekun, the Writers channel. So you can hit the subscription button, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then comment. So let's look at the players who are likely to start and then feature for the Black Stars against the Walia Ibex at the Orlando Stadium at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Let's take a look. Now, in goalkeeping, there are 4 goalkeepers available for Milo to make his choice from. Okay, so there is Jojo Wolacott, who plays in Swindon Town. The last time he was here on his debut call-up against Zimbabwe, Milovan reposed confidence in him and then gave him the opportunity to start in goal. He was imposed both in a game at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium and then at the National Sports Stadium in Harare. He's a gentleman who stood in between the sticks. In fact, he has to compete for his place in the team, as a number 1 for the team against familiar faces, with the exception of Abdul Manaf Nuruddin, who was not available during that time. So this time around, he has Abdul Manaf Nuruddin to contend with for the first team, but he trained against Richard Atta, he trained against Lawrence Atizigi of St. Gallen in the Swiss Super League, and he got the nod to start ahead of them. So the expectation is that, judging by Milovan's post-match interview after the game he played at the Cape Coast Stadium, the player is likely, the goalkeeper is likely to get a nod and then also start. I'm anticipating a typical 4-2-3-1 system that the Serbian is expected to deploy. So once that I've picked my goalkeeper, that my expectation is that Jojo Wolacott is going to start in goals. Let's look at the four defenders that is likely to start for the 4 defenders who are likely to start for the Black Stars. And at left back, though Muntari Kamahini has been called up, he has impressive numbers for Ashdod, but judging by experience, exposure, level of quality and all those things, if you are putting all these numbers together, it is very, very likely that Coach Milovan Rajevac will opt for Baba Rahman, who has been in the Black Stars for a long time. Then at right back, there's also there are a lot of options. Andy Cheriadom is available. He's been called this time around. He's played consistently for Reading in the championship since he returned from injury, so he's likely to start there. Then in central defense, wow, because of the injury situations, and yesterday we picked up report that Alexander Jiku picked up a knock during one of the training sessions the Black Stars were going to, so we don't know. We are unsure whether he's going to start or not. But in an event that he does not start, there's Daniel Amata available. There's Abdul Ganium of Asante Kotoko also available, who scored for Kotoko during Ishmael of Asante Kotoko and what he brings to the table. We shouldn't forget that he has also played on South African soil before. In one of those games that we played against South Africa, he was in action for them. He is available to play for the Black Stars in case that Coach Milovan wants to follow him. But then there's the man Joseph Edu, who plies his trade for Celta Vigo. Don't forget, just before the international break, Barcelona took a 3-0 lead against Celta Vigo in the Spanish La Liga. Right? Celta Vigo fought from behind to draw 3-3 against Barcelona. Key was a monumental game, and this sharp Joseph Edu was in action for Celta Vigo in that particular game. He seems to be getting his number. So if Jonathan Mensah is not available, there's question marks about the fitness of Alexander Jiku. The two options that Milovan is likely to go for is Daniel Amate of Leicester City, and then Joseph Edu. Mark this. Judging by or taking into consideration that the man Alexander Jiku might not be fit, might not pass the match fitness test to start the game for the Black Stars. So we are done and dusted with the back four. So I picked Jojo Wallacott in post. I picked Baba Rahman at left back. I picked Andy Wiadom at right back because of his consistency and form at club level. Then in central defense, I opted for Joseph Edu of Celta Vigo and Daniel Amate. But if I repeat again, if Alexander Jiku is able to retain match fitness, it is likely that he will start in defense together with Daniel Amate because of his form, obviously. Then in midfield, I have opted for a double pivot role, and let me take some few seconds to explain what the double pivot is. When you go for two midfielders in the holding role, they occupy the gap between the central defenders and then the offensive midfielders. Some coaches prefer to play with a single pivot, but in that case, that's when the players are extremely workaholic and they have the legs, they have the energy to run around, destroy, and also construct for your team. But if you look at the current Black Stars now, I've always argued that or made the point that we don't have the likes of the Michaelasians or the Antonianans who in their heydays or in their active days were very, very combative and destructive. We don't have these kind of players. We have Baba Idrisu Mohamed, who plays for Real Mallorca in the Spanish La Liga, and also we have the Monado, who is on his debut call-up. So if I'm Milovan Rajevac and then I'm making my squad or selection for the match, I will start Baba Idrisu Mohamed, and then I'll play him together with Monado for obvious reasons, for form and also the kind of talent and what they bring to the table. So somebody might want to pick Mubarak Wakaso, but Mubarak Wakaso has not played actively for some time now. This is the reason why I'll not put Mubarak Wakaso there in that particular position, because this is a very, very crucial game. And I believe that what Edmonado has been doing in the UEFA Champions League and also for his club, Sheriff Tiraspol, in the Moldovan top-tier league, it is very, very key that Coach Milovan Rajevac gave him the confidence to start for the Black Stars to also marshal things up. Then I'm going to be very, very notorious. Maybe we'll call it an unpopular selection. In the offensive midfield, the trio, I'll go for my number one choice, first choice in that role, will be to play Abdul Fattah Isiaku, the golden boy. I think that he has proven beyond all reasonable doubts that he can perform for the Black Stars when he's given the opportunity. He's done that for the under-20s. He's done that for the under 23s. Is that for the Black Stars B? And in the few games that he's had the opportunity to play for the Black Stars, I think that he demonstrated to all of us that he can do it. So I'll start him just as Milo did against Zimbabwe in Cape Coast. Then the second most informed player in the world, his name is Kamaldeen Sulemana. He is also another option that I'll go for. So I'll start Kamaldeen Sulemana together with Abdul Fattah. And then the next choice that I'll go for will be Kudus Mohammed, who for me, in the past year or so, anytime he dons the Black Stars jersey, he makes sure that he flies the flag of Ghana high, and also play to fit the description that has been given him and all the media headlines that he has received. So I'll start him. So the offensive midfield three will be Abdul Fattah Isiaku, and then I'll start Kamaldeen Sulemana, and then Kudus Mohammed. These three. Dangerous trial. So I'll start him as well. Then I'll put the man Andre Ayew as the arrowhead. Because if you're looking at all the players that we've called, in terms of the offensive players, the most informed player who is scoring goals at club level is Andre Ayew. And judging by his experience, what he did in recent seasons before he left Swansea City to Assad, I think that once you give him the ball, he's clinical enough to produce the number or give you the numbers. And I think that I'll go with Andre Ayew on any day to excel for the Black Stars. So this is my starting 11. If I'm in Milovan's rival's shoes and making the selections, this is the player that I'm going to start the game with on a day, because you need players who are athletic, players who have the legs, players who are mobile, who are energetic, determined to make a name for themselves for the Black Stars. And I think that we can find them in these players that I've mentioned. So let me go over my selection again for you. So in post is Jojo Olakot. Number 2 is Andy Wiadom. Number 3, Abdul Babaraman. Number 4 and 5 is Daniel Amati. And then Joseph Edu of Celta Vigo. Then in midfield, I'll play Edmond Ado and Baba Idrisu. In offensive midfield again, I'll go for options in Abdul Fattah Isiaku. I'll select Kamaldeen Sulemana. And then I'll go for Kudus Mohammed to join them in offensive midfield. Then Andre Ayew, or obviously, for obvious reasons, will lead the attack for the Black Stars. So in a typical 4-2-3-1 formation, these are the selections that I'll make on a day. Now, it's obvious. There's only one debutant in a team. Player, I mean, by debutant, I mean a player who has never received a call-up into the Black Stars, and that's Edmond Ado. Edmond Ado is likely to start. Now, let's look at some key statistics that you might want to know about the Black Stars. Now, as I said, the Black Stars are in Group G, together with South Africa, who are on top of the table with 10 points. They've scored 5 goals and conceded just 1. The Black Stars are in second place. They also have 9 points. They've scored 5 goals and conceded 2 goals. And these 2 goals were conceded. One was conceded against Zimbabwe in Cape Coast, and the other one was a 1-0 loss that we suffered against South Africa at the FNB Sports Stadium in Johannesburg. Third on the table is Ethiopia. Ethiopia are also third on the table with 3 points from 4 games. They've won 1, drawn 0, and then lost 3. And the only game they won in the group so far was against Zimbabwe. They defeated Zimbabwe by a lone goal. Then at the base of the table is Zimbabwe themselves, who are also playing against South Africa, coincidentally, on South African soil. So Zimbabwe are in 4th position with 4 points, with a point from 4 games. They've scored 1 goal and then conceded 5. And I think this is not impressive at all. So we expect, the general expectation is that South Africa are going to get the maximum points, especially playing on home soil. The determination, taking a lot of factors into consideration, South Africa are guaranteed to win against Zimbabwe in that game just in match day 5. So it is very, very crucial and critical for the Black Stars to win the game against Ethiopia, no matter how you look at it. That's why I've also made the points consistently that we should stop drumming messages of unfairness into the heads of our players. That even Hugo Broos has been talking about it. Hugo Broos is the coach for South Africa, that he thinks that in his opinion it is unfair for Ghana to play against Ethiopia on South African soil. But I mean, it's their right. It's the right of the Ethiopians to decide wherever they want to play. They could have opted to play Ghana against the Black Stars on Ghanaian soil. So they have taken their decision. I believe that on any day, the Black Stars should have the quality to beat Ethiopia, no matter the grounds, wherever we play against them. We should have the quality. I mean, this is a team that is ranked, I think, 106 or so in the FIFA World rankings, and the Black Stars are around 54th at the FIFA Coca-Cola ranking. And if judging by what we've done in world football, judging by what we've done on the African continent, Ethiopia shouldn't pose a threat to the Black Stars on any day. So this is where we'll wrap up the preview of the Black Stars. Maybe I have to give you some brief head-to-head statistics. I mean, it's very, very brief. So what we've done against the Ethiopian team, putting everything into consideration, whether it's a chance squad or the main Black Stars squad, Ethiopia, from the records, 1963, the Black Stars defeated them by 2-0. Then in 2014, we beat them 1-0 on their own home soil. In 2017, I think it was under Coach Kwesi, we hit them by 5. We scored them by 5-0. And then in 2018, we defeated them by 2-0. In the recent encounter, we have beaten them. We beat them by a long goal. So judging by the 5 games that we played against them, they've not scored a goal against the Black Stars of Ghana. They've not scored a goal. And we scored how many? 3, 8, 10. We scored 11 goals against them. They've not scored against us. So I'm sure that this is not a game that should get us worried at all. We should be able to keep our heads up and then record a victory against Ethiopia come 1 p.m. This afternoon. After the match, we'll bring you an extensive analysis of the game, the results, some exclusive interviews, highlights of the match as well. All will be available on El Acheku, the writer. As I said before, do not forget to subscribe to this channel for more exciting videos in Ghanaian football, Ghanaian environment, African football, and then the world football in general. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and also comment. Share your opinions. Let's know what you think about the Black Stars game. And the predictions should come in. My own prediction is that the Black Stars are going to win by 2-0 against Ethiopia, judging by the fact that we are going to play in a neutral grounds. It's no man's land, and we have the quality as against what we saw against them in the first game we played here in Cape Coast. So thank you for making time with us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and then comment.